Right, so polynomial.
You gonna record our class?
Yes.
Wait, whenever you record, can they hear us? Or
Yes.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Is a number with many parts. So poly meaning many, nomial meaning number. All right. Xavier, open your notes, please. Standard form. We're going to call standard form of a polynomial. We're going to write the polynomial in order. So we're going to say ordered. Highest degree to lowest. I'm going to explain what that means in just a moment because we're going to talk about degrees of a polynomial. Highest. Highest. Sorry. Sorry. I apologize for my handwriting today. I forgot my stylus at home. It's sitting on my desk. So, the first polynomial that we're going to label, I'm going to look at the degree of this polynomial. What I mean by that, the degree is the biggest number that's an exponent for a variable. It's kind of tricky here. Does 6, my polynomial 6, does that have a variable? It doesn't, right? So that's kind of like saying x to the 0 power, right? So then what's that exponent? 0. So my degree is 0. So when my degree is 0, we're going to call that a constant. Constant. All right. So next I want to identify the number of terms. So that's just like before when we would say like combined like terms, so that's the pieces, right? So how many terms does the polynomial 6 have?
0.
Just the one. It just has 6, right? So if I have one term, the vocabulary word for one term is monomial. Monomial. Excuse me. All right, y'all ready for the next one? All right, the next one says 5x plus 9. So here if I look at my degree, I'm going to look at that x value. What's the degree of x?
0.
Well, 0 would be like if it weren't there, right? Because x to the 0 is 1. Here, this is x to the 1. So my degree is 1. The vocabulary word for a degree that's to the first power is called a linear. All right. How many terms does this polynomial have? 2. It's got 2 parts. We have the 5x and we have the 9. So it's got 2 parts. So we call this a binomial. So if I were asked to classify the polynomial 5x plus 9, I could say it was a linear binomial. All right, next I've got 4x squared plus 7x plus 3. So if I look at my degree, well, this is tricky because I have x squared and I have an x to the 1 power, right?
It's squared.
It's squared because we're going to go with the biggest exponent. We always go with the biggest exponent. So that is x squared, so my degree is 2. The vocabulary word when we have, bless you, a degree of 2 is called a quadratic. All right, Miss Robin, can you help me with this next part? How many terms does this polynomial have? So how many parts does it have? Perfect. It's got 3 parts.
So they're like a trinomial.
Perfect. Trinomial. Exactly. So we're going to call this a trinomial.
The other one's gonna be quadrinomial. Yeah.
A quadnomial?
Quadrinomial. I think it's gonna be quadrinomial. It's gonna be quadrinomial.
Oh, like the name for this?
For
Wait, wait.
four.
Oh, for 4? Hold on. So the name for this one would be a quadratic trinomial. So if it were 4 terms, which we're not going to do, but it would be like a quadnomial. Yeah. But we won't talk about 4 terms this year. All right. The next one, Ian, can you help me? What's the degree of 2x cubed? So I'm going to look at my variable. What's the exponent for that variable? 3. Perfect. So my degree is 3. And the vocabulary word for a third degree is going to be cubic. A tribic? And that's why I'm writing the degree names. Oh, sorry, my arrow. There we go. Because the degree names don't always. What we're doing is we're naming the polygon. Not the polygon. The polynomial. You guys. We're naming the polynomial. So if it's cubed, that's called a cubic. If it's squared, it's called a quadratic, which we're going to be graphing quadratic functions here in just a few weeks. All right, so how many terms, Miss Caitlin, how many terms does this polynomial have?
1.
1. So this is a monomial. Here we go. So 2x cubed is called a cubic monomial. All right. Last one, Xavier, can you help me out? Here, an 8x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 5. What's the biggest exponent? 4. So my degree is going to be a 4th degree polynomial. All right. So this is the thing. Every degree does have a special name. Every degree does have a special name. For the purposes of high school, we really don't have to know all of those special Greek or Latin, I forget which base it is. We don't need to know all of those special names. It is acceptable, especially once you get up to like 16th degree, which you won't see very often. But if you did, we wouldn't need to give it that special name. We could just say 4th degree. That is acceptable. Is that okay? You could just say it's a 4th degree, whatever. All right, Miss Jules, can you help me with the next part? How many terms does that polynomial have?
1.
Well, we've got 8x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 5. So it's got 3 pieces to it, right? So it's 3 terms. So if it's got 3 terms, it's a trinomial. There you go.
That sounds like a dinosaur.
Because triceratops, do you remember what a triceratops looks like?
No.
It has the 3 horns coming out of its face.
Then yes, I do.
Tri. Like a tricycle. A tricycle has how many wheels?
3.
3. Triangle. A triangle has how many sides?
3.
Or how many angles? Triangle. 3 angles, right? Tripod has how many legs?
What?
Tripod, like I use when I record?
Oh, that was
Yeah, there you go. All right. Example number 1. We're going to oh, no. We're not going to tilt the paper. We're going to classify these polynomials. So, example 1a, I've got 3x plus 4x squared. 3x plus 4x squared. For example 1. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to write this in standard form. Remember I said standard form meant I was going to order everything from biggest exponent to smallest exponent, right? So here, what's my biggest exponent? 2. That 4x squared. So I'm going to rewrite this so that 4x squared is first.
What?
So we got 4x squared plus 3x. So I want to reorder this so that it is in numerical order by exponent. That's standard form, right?
Does it have to be after that?
Yes. All right, so then I'm going to classify this. So first I'm going to look at my degree. What's my degree? 2, so that's a quadratic, right? Quadratic. And then how many terms do we have? 2, so it's a binomial. So that's a quadratic binomial. Yes? All right, let's try example 1b. We have 4x minus 1 plus 5x cubed plus 7x. So I want you to write this in standard form and then classify it. All right, so B I'm going to write in standard form. Good. All right, so first I'm going to write this in standard form. So what's my biggest exponent? 5x cubed, that 3, right? So I'm going to rewrite this so that I have 5x cubed and then plus 7x plus 4x minus 1. But do I have any like terms? 4x and 7x, right? So I can rewrite this 5x cubed plus 11x minus 1. Right? Did you combine like terms first?
Yeah,
Hey, that's
I did that, but I did 4x minus 1 before 7x.
oh, that hey, whatever
Does that work or
works.
no?
Yeah. As long as you combine those like terms at some step before you classify. So then, what's my biggest exponent?
3.
Putting it in order,
In order?
it's like, is that extra?
No, I want you to put it in standard form, always. Because it's going to make it easier to classify. And when we start combining here in a minute, you'll need it to be in standard form, in numerical order by exponent. Good question. All right, so my biggest exponent is 3, so that's a cubic. And there's 3 parts to it, so it's a trinomial. Cubic trinomial. All right. Beautiful. You classify it? All right, example 2. Example 2 says simplify. All right, I've got negative 3x squared plus 5x minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 12. We're going to do this together. I'm going to show y'all. I'm even going to show you how to do it vertically, so you might want to start a new page. you go.
Minus.
All right, y'all ready? So, real quick, don't write this down. I just want you guys to read. So, we're going to simplify. And to simplify, I'm going to rewrite these so that they're stacked. You okay, hon? All right. So I'm going to start with negative 3x squared plus 5x minus negative 5x squared. So I'm going to go and find where I have an x squared and stack underneath that. So I have 5x squared plus 3x. I'm going to stack that underneath the x minus 12. Say it again. No. Because what we have to do, because what we're doing is we're lining up like terms, right? Just like we lined up the units before, we're going to line up like terms. So here, this is like saying plus 0, right? At the end. So I'm going to fill in my blank spaces with zeros. All right. Next, if I'm subtracting, see I was subtracting up here? All of this, we have to subtract each part. So what we have to do is we have to distribute a -1 to each part. So -1 times 5x squared is negative 5x squared. -1 times 3x is negative 3x. And -1 times -12 is positive 12. So when we're subtracting, we have to subtract each term. Does that make sense? Each term. Write it down. We're going to talk about it again. We're going to do another one. Write it down. So now I can combine like terms. So what is 0 plus 12? 12. A positive 12, right? 5x minus 3x? A positive 2x. And negative 3x squared minus 5x squared? Negative 8x squared. There we go. Minus a negative? Sure, you can say minus. But what's minus a negative? A positive. There you go. Which one? Yeah, because you have -3 minus 5. So that's -3 plus a -5. Or minus positive 5. It's not minus a negative. So it's like, you guys, it's like distributing a negative, right?
Yeah.
Remember when we did that before? All right, let's try one more. Like, there it is. Oh no. So example 3 says simplify. I have 3x cubed plus 7x plus 5x squared plus x minus 4. All right, so again, I'm going to stack. You ready? You ready? Okay, so I've got 3x cubed, but I notice my next term, x squared, is not there, right? Like I don't have an x squared in my first polynomial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say plus 0, x squared to have a placeholder. Is that okay? Plus 7x plus 5x squared. I want to line up those like terms. Plus x minus 4. And I have plus 0. I'll color code here. So this one I'm adding. So now we can just add vertically, right?
Wait, why are you adding?
Because that's the problem. The problem says to add. All right, so what is 0 minus 4? 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Very good. 7x plus 1x is 8x. And 0x squared plus 5x squared is 5x squared. And then 3x cubed plus 0x cubed is 3x cubed. From elementary school, it's been a while. Oh, I'm gonna go back, hold on.
I barely remember like 6th grade.
Good. So if I gave you a problem like, I don't know, 35 minus 172.
That's a negative.
It's a negative number, right?
Yeah.
An easier way to write this would be to write it vertically because we know we're going to have to borrow, right? So, please stop talking. Thank you. So you're going to line this up 135, and then you're going to line the 172 not up like this, but you want the ones, the tens, and the hundreds to line up, right? So you would have lined it up like this, right? We're going to do something similar with polynomials. We want to stack our like terms, okay? No. I told you not to write this down. Hold on. Oh.